So the subject of my film is about the disappearance of the caravan salt trade in northeastern Ethiopia and the Horn of Africa. And it's one of the oldest trades on the African continent. And in 2018, this caravan trade basically disappeared. And specifically, I'm looking what the disappearance of this trade means for specific communities. And for centuries, this trade has been of such importance for the articulation of the economic, social, and political life of specific communities, particularly the Afar communities that live in northeastern Ethiopia, but also in Djibouti and Eritrea. What makes my documentary, I feel, quite unique is, first of all, the unbelievable landscape of this particular region in the Horn of Africa. It's an amazing, stunning, beautiful landscape. The salt flats, pure white. If you stand there and look at it, it's just endless, an endless white surface that reminds you kind of a frozen lake. And it is also one of the hottest places on Earth. And the journey through and along to the salt flat is just such an interesting and fascinating place. And I think the imagery and the colors that come out filming in such an environment is something that, from a visual or cinematic perspective, makes it really unique. On the other hand, I would say that this entire project of making the documentary involved from the start the communities. So it was not me who came in and said, I want to make a film, but it was based on a first engagement of me being there first and getting to know and learning about everything, getting to know the different salt traders. And from the beginning, it was a collaborative process where the people involved had a say in the pre-production, in the production, but also in the post-production. And this really came out in part, and especially in including the music that the participants, the Afar salt traders, wanted to be part of this documentary. And I think this really stands out and makes this a unique documentary. It was based on my ethnographic research as part of my PhD at the university in London. And I had lived in Ethiopia before for several years, but in other parts. And I returned in 2017 for a year long of research. And basically what happened when you're an anthropologist and you're doing research, for the first 3 months, you just sit and listen to what people have to say. And you just try to see and what is happening and what is important in the daily lives of people. And I kept having conversations about people from the same area, from the same region, or former salt traders who all spoke about Arho, the name of the documentary, but Arho is also the name of this caravan trade. And the people I worked with, the Afar that were part of my entire research endeavor, spoke highly of this as an important part of the Afar culture. So I found, okay, there's something interesting going on there. I need to understand it more. I need to speak to more people. I need to get a better understanding of who's involved. And so I shifted my entire research from my initial research ideas towards the salt trade and the salt economy, and the caravan and the moving caravans. And so it was really a longer process. I didn't come to Ethiopia with the idea I make a film about the salt caravans or the journey of the caravans, but it was a gradual process. And I kept discussing ideas with different people and clan leaders and community leaders, and how to best engage in this project and how to film it and what to include. So it was really a collaborative undertaking, and it didn't, I had some idea about how to do it, but then it was always a negotiation discussion how to best go about it. It's really fantastic that you have been now running this festival for the past 4 years, and I heard about this festival first when a colleague and friend showed her film about the horror in the Andes, Maria Cecilia Dietrich, I think it was, and it's great that such festivals exist, because it is something away from the kind of mainstream. You know, we are getting so overwhelmed with all these Netflix and all these productions, right? But having these specific film festivals like the one that you are running, you have different perspectives coming in, and you have amazing people traveling to amazing places in the world, engaging with different communities. And I think what is most important when we speak about these ethnographic film festivals is that they are always based on and rooted in specific trusting relationship with the communities the filmmakers are working with, or sometimes they are even from these communities. And what you often feel and see in these festivals and in these films is a specific intimacy that you can only create once you had spent a longer time with the people that appear in the film. And this is something really important. And secondly, I would say we have other forms of narratives that deviate from the standards of, you know, classical storytelling or how films are supposed to be made, because our understanding of film and the visual medium, I think, differentiates a little bit from culture to culture. And I think you see this in some of the films, and this is really, really unique in certain ways. And for audiences, it is nice, I think, to immerse oneself into these different cinematic and ethnographic experiences. And something that is important, I think, also from my perspective as an academic and an anthropologist, is that you have this kind of ethical responsibility to make sure that the people you're working with and that you're filming have a chance to say and intervene in how they want to be presented, right? So that we're not coming in with a certain ideas how we want to film and having a kind of voyeurism that we portray certain parts of the world or certain cultures as certain ideas that we want to impose, but rather that this emerges in a dialogue. And today, with the technologies and smaller cameras and laptops that you can bring, you can show your footage and your first cuts, and you can have a negotiation and a dialogue, right? And I think this is really, really important, because we have this ethical responsibility as filmmakers towards the people involved in our project. I just want to say thank you. For having me, for selecting my film. I would really love to be and come to the festival myself, if it's possible. Or I can just encourage anyone to come, and if they have the chance, to see it or join online, enjoy the discussions, and have this really immersive experience of watching some of the brilliant documentaries. So thank you very much for organizing this and putting this together. It's really fantastic. And I feel really honored and proud to be part of this.